Welcome to this video. My name is Hannes Knechtges, and in this video I want to show you one of the most important scales you need to know on guitar. No matter if you're playing an electric guitar or an acoustic guitar, you should know that scale, and it's called the pentatonic scale. In this case, I want to show you the scale in the key of A minor. Of course, it's the same as for the major scale I showed you in previous videos, where we can just shift it up or down the neck. So if you have a G major scale here, you have the same fingering, the same schematics also on E. If you shift up the neck and look for the note E on the E string, for example, you have the same major scale pattern here, starting from a different root note. And you can do the same, of course, with the scale I'm about to show you in this video, which is called the A minor pentatonic in this very case. So it's going like this. And the same goes here as for any other scale, that you should get it into your head, get it into your fingers. And of course, the purpose of a scale is not to just run it up and down again and up and down and up. That's boring, and this has nothing to do with making music with it. It's more about phrasing and melodies and musical playing. I will give you some examples what you can do in your practice routine to break out of this boring kind of style, just playing a scale up and down the neck all the time. And in previous videos I also showed you, of course, what you can do with the scales you already learned, play melodies, phrase notes in a different way, and you can adapt that, of course, for that scale too. So let's check that scale out. We start on the 5th fret of the E string, going with the index finger, and then with the pinky in the 8th fret. Then index finger goes to the 5th fret of the A string, and then the ring finger in the 7th fret of the A string. So we have 5, 8, 5, 7. Just play downstrokes for now. And in this video I want to go into detail, especially again in terms of how to play a scale, in terms of technique. Make sure your thumb is not somewhere there for now, but somewhere behind or at the side of the neck, right next door to the index finger. So not there, or something like this, or there. I don't know. Wherever it could be, try to place it there. Your fingers are already, again, lined up like this. Just so they're ready. Don't do it like this. Just focus on the technique and just play 4 notes. Because the other thing is how to mute strings again that you don't want to hear. When I play on the E string, my index finger is playing the note here in the 5th fret, of course, with the fingertip, but the rest of the finger also mutes most of the other strings. See, I play the note in the 5th fret of the E string, and it's nearly muting all the other 5 strings, so they don't ring accidentally. So it's... And I do the same with the pinky. And the moment it touches the 8th fret, it also touches slightly, just slightly. It's not pressing down, it's just over it and muting the string. And with the back of it, it's muting at least the A string. And if you go to the A string now and play the 5th and 7th fret, the index finger kind of touches the E string here. And the ring finger does the same to mute the E string, the low E string. Especially the index fingers muting the low E string while pushing down 5th fret A string. And it also mutes the other 4 upper strings. Okay? This is pretty complex, especially if you've never done this before. Just want to make sure that you know how to mute strings when you got a problem with it and ringing strings throughout all the time. that you don't want to ring out. At the moment you've left the A string, you can also use your picking hand to lie on the strings here that you've left. So I'm now playing the D string in the 5th fret, which is the next note of the scale, and I'm resting on the E and A string with my picking hand. The next notes are 5th and 7th fret on the G string. So it's 5, 7, 5, 7 on the D and the G string. So we have in total 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7. And on the B and E string we have 5, 8 and 5, 8. 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8. Take a look at my thumb, it's always at the same position. And don't do something like this. This is too... That way you cannot mute the strings with the rest of your fingers. Don't do it like this, and don't do it like this. Really pushing down the strings with your fingertips. Also make sure you move along with your picking hand. Now, you can play that scale up and down. And I think for your first steps, that should be your task. Really know where the notes are, get a feeling, do that for a couple of times until you feel comfortable with this. It will take a while. Please only use downstrokes for the beginning. Don't confuse yourself with any other technique there. And now, as I promised, you can of course just shift that pattern up the neck if you want to go to a different key. For example, to the key of E, you go to the 12th fret where you have the double dots on most of the guitars, and you play the same pattern. So you can shift that scale to any position and you're already on the right key. That's a difference, for example, compared to the piano, where every scale is different because you have the black and the white keys. And now I want to give you another example how you can practice that scale so it doesn't sound that unmusical. You just start on the E string, and then you jump over the A string and go directly to the D string. It goes on like this: E string, D string, and then you go to the A string, and then you jump to the G string. Okay, do that for now. E string, D string, A string, G string. Pretty fun, isn't it? So do it slow again. E string, 5/8. D string 5/7, A string 5/7, G string 5/7. Then we go to the D string 5/7, and then to the B string 5/8, G string 5/7, E string 5/8, and then again backwards. But before we do that, do it again. E string, D string, A string, G string, D string, B string, G string, and now when you go back, you go to the G string, B string, D string, G string, A string, D string, and E string. That sounds way more interesting than just playing the scale up and down, and gives you some technique there with the string skipping, which is quite a challenge, especially for beginners or advanced beginners. But that way you can focus on getting the scale into your fingers. Advanced players can do that string skipping thing and challenge themselves a little bit more. Also, it's a good idea for the advanced players. If you want, just try to find the scale at any point. If you say, where's the D? There it is, 10th fret E string, and so on and so on. You just know where the notes on the low E string are. It's cool to be fast and say, oh, this song is in D, let's play a solo in D, and you just know where it is. That's a good task for you then. So, thanks for tuning in, guys, and see you in the next video. Bye.